fives to get the most minutes through their 3 games so far. So we're underway here. Is there anybody else, Corey Alexander, that you've got your eyeball on?
Foul that has made a bit of a ruckus on social media, so of course we're going to have to pay special attention to that.
Are we on Thread or Twitter? I can't figure out which one we're supposed to talk about.
I don't even know what Thread is. He was blingy,
yes,
to say the least. We're talking about Grady Dick, who definitely won the Look at My Suit contest at the NBA draft
this week.
Yeah, but he's going to stay shot ready as well. When Wieskamp gets his opportunity to let it fly from 3, it's going up. That's tough.
A lot of traffic, no whistle there, and a pretty cool finish. I heard the play for Jalen Wilson.
I heard that good with the people.
So Tyrese Appleby had an NIL deal with Applebee's. And so could we say that Jalen Wilson about shooting? Each team has attempted 11 shots so far. David Duke will pull up and knock it down. David Duke Jr. Bart trying to send it in. That's deflected out of there. Great find, Greg.
We've seen that turnover a number of times.
Out to Hall. Rhythm 3.
All those 3 guys, those 3 draft picks right there in the middle. The most productive college player between the 3. Calls for a second there. Kenny Chandler, basketball, over 20 points a game at Kansas. However, he was a 51st pick, where Derek Whitehead and Noah Clowney, whose college production was nowhere near. It's about potential. What will you be in comparison as a 19-year-old when you're the same age that Jalen Wilson is at, say, 22 years old coming out of college? He's always been great around the basket, but he's had a struggle getting the ball to go in the basket here offensively.
He's not getting off the ground like he normally does. By the way, that was she's making good choices for you.
There you go.
No, I can't even imagine, because I've never grown a beard out like. And Spruell will have a conversation with Brian here in the second quarter as Brooklyn finds Lewis firing from up top and dropping it in. And that's a great way to
see the tournament right now. But when you think about that, one thing I do have judgment on, and we talked about this last year, is these rings getting given away for Summer League. Okay.
We hear you, Corey. Always good to hear your ideas, man.
I like how Corey's just writing checks.
Yes, that's what we get to do. I get to spend Byron's money.
What they do, and those represent what they bring. So even here, our competition committee meetings are very meaningful. A lot of great productive discussions in those.
Wieskamp through traffic, lost the handle, and the Raptors turn it over. Ross Goldon-Wude, Sean Kelly, Corey Alexander's alongside. And there's the guy that he wanted to see today, Moses Brown, out in transition with a 2-hand dunk. Entire practice court installed. Now, teams have done that before, but Toronto's the one that stepped it up and basically turned it into an entire practice facility. Tread guys on the big roster, and instead of having to go somewhere off-site for a workout, they're able to work those guys out right there, team hotel.
Pretty much status quo.
Nice cut to the rim, and as a result, a highlight dunk for Wieskamp. Chandler, once, twice, no. And Nebhard comes away with it. Ahead to Wieskamp, attacking the rack, lays it in. Look, for a guy that really's a sharpshooter, 10 to shoot. RJ Nebhard, crossover, leans, and finishes. Back it out. Gotta hurry now. Mr. Brooks into the corner. Chandler can't connect. Second chance in for Lewis.
However, giving up an offensive rebound in the putback allowed the Nets to be able to separate and have that 14-point lead. And then when you get that first possession after halftime, how much of that do you factor in when you're looking at evaluating these players?
Oh, it's helped so much, Corey, to coach at the high major level. 3-point shot by.
In the Bay right now. Those 2 guys cannot hang out together, especially with shades on inside.
The full-on jersey look there. No T-shirt either.
Oh, yeah. 110 degrees outside, so I understand.
Looks like they were out a little bit late last night, too.
That could be that.
Sunglasses.
All right, we teased your question, Corey. We're with Paul Biancardi, by the way, National Recruiting Director at ESPN. Corey, a repeat of your question, if you don't mind, and the long-awaited answer here from Paul.
Well, just quickly, who's the guy that's go to Indiana and play for Mike Woodson and his NBA background, in my opinion, helped Jalen Hood-Schifino get to this point?
No question about it.
I've called baseball games there, and when you're in the broadcast booth, in a very small press box of their baseball facility. It's the view beyond center field is the
gold mine sitting down on Pacific Coast Highway Route 1.
Yes. PCH. And, Corey, you and I and Paul, I guess we're old enough to remember when Battle of the Network Stars, that was shot at Pepperdine for the most part in Malibu.
You and Paul.
On occasion, usually on a Sunday. It's all high school, it's all college for me. And then obviously when the playoffs start, that's when I start to really hone in on
it. In particular permeates the team. He's a humble leader. And then as for Jalen Wilson, who's been playing here on the court today, he said he wouldn't be
the way he plays on the floor too.
Absolutely so. When you talk about culture setters, of course, he was part of the culture established with the Phoenix Suns by Monty Williams. So now you'll see Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson.
Again, all a part of what's going on with the Brooklyn Nets. So 1 minute to play here in the third, and a little punch back thrown down by David Duke Jr.
Keontae George has led that class, and I just think that group, I don't call them a class, but a group of players for the Utah Jazz, they've stood out to me.
Pretty good GM.
So, which normally means that you are affecting the basketball while it's in the cylinder.
Or you went up and either smacked the backboard so hard. Only down by 7. Remember, they were down by 17. Oh, make it 14.
And we may have some extra on this.
Yes.
There could be a one throughout the first 3 games of Summer League. Now an opportunity to make plays here at the end.
Brown dunks it in. That's a 10-0 run now for the Raptors.
With Moses Brown for the 3rd time with the charm, finishing it off.
Here's Lewis. Ooh. Nice response by the Nets.
The answer from
the record is 117 here in the city. Lake Mead's hotter. Out Holt with a little twisty move down the lane to finish with the Nebhart finds Harper out of the dunker spot. Holt with the catch and finish.
And Holt, Kendi Chandler now 2 of 16 from the field.
Oh! Poster opportunity. And just as you say that, Kennedy Chandler finally gets one to go.
Yeah, now 3 of 17, but I love the fact that Kendi Chandler, regardless of how good one, I'm going Harrison Barnes.
Better one. Ryan's a friend, so I had to do it.
Well, Ryan is my guy. He was, of course, one of my rooks with the Denver Nuggets.
Little zone here by the Nets. Harper down the right slot. High off the glass and got it to drop.
And got the lead also. One
on the lane, couldn't finish. He's hit from high off the glass prior. There's a 2-man advantage right now for the Nets. Chandler going to the rack. Reverse layup is good. The Tennessee Volunteer. The switch has Hogue defensively now. 1 second to go for the win. Short, off the mark. David Duke's not going to be shy. Runs it up, that ball deflected, and Brown's away with it and stripped back by David Duke Jr. Race to the rim.
Give me that.
Swatted by Brown, cleaned up and scored by Jalen Wilson. David Duke's not going to be shy. Runs it up, that ball deflected, and Brown's away with it and stripped back by David Duke Jr. Race to the rim.
Give me that.
Swatted by Brown, cleaned up and scored by Jalen Wilson.
I don't mind Jalen Wilson taking a good look at 3. I think he has an advantage off the bounce against Moses Brown.
Steal by Chandler. He'll be the fastest to the rim and punched it with the right hand.
It's still, the Raptors are 4 points away. I would maybe look at seeing if you can find that easy 3.
Chandler picks it up and leans it in. And they're a point away from ending the ball game.
And right now, all I'm thinking is go to the basket, simply because you can get fouled and get to the free throw line and win it.
Wilson wins it. Second chance. He followed the miss. And in one motion, rebounds and scoops it in for the game winner. Jalen Wilson.